Hello everybody, my name is Dan Morley. I'm an Associate Professor and the Head of Department for Creative Design Programmes here at De Montfort University. I'm your host today for this virtual open day, and I'm joined with a number of fantastic lecturers and students. Very honoured because I get to work with them every day, and I'm really excited to talk about their courses and share some fantastic examples of what we do here at De Montfort University. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Kat, a lecturer in game art. So, hi, Kat.
Hi, I'm Kat.
And we have Shane Mitchell as well. So, he is a senior lecturer and program leader for animation.
Yeah, hi there, everyone. Yeah, my name's Shane, and like Dan says, I am the program leader for animation here at DMU.
And we're also covering comic and concept art as well, I think, in this talk.
Yeah, briefly, yeah.
And we have three students with us today. So we have Shay Palmer, Matt Evans, and Angel Smith. So everyone pop up, say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi guys.
So Shay, what course are you representing today?
So I'm studying game art, and this is now my second year studying game art at the moment.
And Matt and Angel, you're on the same program, I believe?
Yes, we both study graphic design, and I believe this is both of our second year here.
Yeah, second year for me too.
And so we're going to have some questions, probably from the live guests to you later on. I think I might ask you a few questions as well. But without further ado, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about graphic design and the program, graphic design and illustration, the program and the facilities, and also a bit about the creative design cluster that we have here at De Montfort University. So we have 5 programs in the creative design cluster. Colloquially, we call it GAGA, which stands for Game Art, Animation and Graphic Arts. So we have graphic design illustration, game art, animation, and the brand new, really exciting program, which is concept and comic art. And so without further ado, I'm going to talk to you about studying graphic design and illustration. So studying graphic design and illustration at DMU will open the door to an extensive variety of creative roles, from positions in agencies, freelance consultancies, in-house, or even opportunities to set up your own studio. So if you were to choose graphic design at DMU, you will gain the essential experience required to become a successful designer and graduate, and will help you build an impressive portfolio that demonstrates your skills and talents. So the whole purpose of the course is to showcase your capabilities to prospective employers. So if you study graphic design, a job in advertising, motion graphics, branding, packaging design, user experience and user interface design are kind of very clear trajectories in terms of kind of career goals. There are many, many directions that a graphic design degree can take you. So we also have a sister course called Graphic Design and Illustration. This is taught in alliance with the graphic design degree, but they're module-specific teaching and learning to develop a more personal visual language, an illustrative language. So on this course, you will have a range of opportunities to explore and experiment with an extensive range of media and craft skills that are taught to you by expert practitioners, genuine illustrators and designers, on your work on projects that allow you your creativity and talent to thrive in print, digital, analog media, and all different platforms. So the important thing in terms of what we're looking for in applicants is graphic design and illustration students need to be curious innovators, and we'd like you to follow a reflective and explorative design process. We'd like to understand how to engage with an audience. So it's really important in graphics and illustration to make sure that you're talking to someone. It's not a fine art course where you're expressing yourself, you're engaging with an audience. So that's a very important distinction there. So the graphic design illustration course will help you build your graphic design industry skills and develop your own personal visual style. You'll be taught how to interpret briefs, identify and solve problems, and create innovative design and illustration solutions. So not only on both these programs, not only do you learn how to apply your creativity, you'll also be able to develop other areas such as research, analytical and entrepreneurial skills. So we're all practicing designers with a range of experience and close industry links, allowing you to spend time working with professional clients. And we have a house design society, which I believe you can see their office is right there. So inside our studios, we have offices for students to take ownership of their time at De Montfort University. That's a really big, important point. The point is that we're here to find and help you extract the creativity within you. And we give you access to some amazing things. Newly developed and multi-purpose facilities. So we have brilliant studios. I'm in one now. We're live streaming from the larger studio. So it seats about 100, 120 students. It's split into two parts, but we have 3 studios on campus on the same floor. We have specialist digital printing facilities. I mean, some are the only printers in Leicester that we have, Riso printing, neon inks, print finishing equipment, wonderful stuff. A £75,000 CAD cut crease for packaging. We have green screen studios, video photography suites, drawing, traditional printmaking, letterpress workshops, you name it. Now, in the graphics program, you can study a range of topics, including image making, applied graphic studies, media and communication technology, and you can gain valuable experience by the DMU Global program. So previous trips for DMU Global have been to Berlin, where they had a valuable introduction to the Bauhaus movement. But we take our students on trips everywhere. We get people to come into the studio, such as guest speakers and workshops. It's a really vibrant studio culture. And that's a really important point to make. We want you to be in these studios as much as possible, working and talking. It's a nurturing, creative environment, and we're really rather proud of it. So our students undertake briefs set by industry professionals, high-profile competitions such as D&AD, which we've recently won some pencils in, YCN, ISTD, International Society of Typographic Designers, you name it. Our graduates go on to work in some fantastic industries, the very best, the creme de la creme of the design agencies. And to prove it, I've got some student examples for you here. So I'm going to show you the work of Jack Tite. So Jack Tite was a graphic design and illustration student, and he made this. Now you may think that looks a little bit, inconsequential. It's a small book, but this is his first mock-up that he did in his 3rd year for a book called The Mega Meltdown. Now he thoroughly researched the Ice Age. Then he started to draw it. He started to think about how this book could be visualized. Thorough research. Then, as part of his major final project, he started to think about the typography and the layout and the visual language. Everything's done illustratively on Photoshop. And this is part of his final major project. He studied very hard, worked extremely hard in developing this book, from authoring it himself and designing it himself. He then made this. That's his final project book. He took this book to Big Picture Press 2 weeks after graduating. And you can see it's a wonderful, wonderful book, which is full of pull-outs and pop-ups and engaging layout design, really lovely. So 2 weeks after that, he took that to Big Picture Press. They gave him lots and lots of money. You could buy this on Amazon now. And it's a series of 3 or 4, I think it is. And they gave him a considerable amount of money up front to develop these books. So wonderful books. It's nominated for a number of awards, but the illustration team nurtured him in terms of his visual language, from drawing to Photoshop through to how to use InDesign to put the book together. And that's the beauty of the graphic design and illustration course. If you're studying just a pure illustration degree, you're just going to be exploring how to develop a visual language. But on the graphic design and illustration degree, it's graphics and illustration together. You're completing the whole picture, the type, the layout, everything. Another wonderful product we have here is a bag. We love to make stuff on this course. We're not talking just about kind of visualizations and digital mock-ups. We make things. This is an award-winning cardboard weaved bag. So the student developed a process to weave and make waterproof cardboard products. So this was featured in The Economist. She set up a whole business based on this. She got grants, and these are being sold. I think they were sold at Fortnum & Mason's, I think it was. This is a very robust process. But this is for the Star Pack Award, and she won it's an international award which she won on developing this really innovative solution to recycling cardboard. And it's a really beautiful thing as well. And we can see her tests and all the work she did to develop this process. This is backed up by specialists in packaging design, and branding and entrepreneurship. Really, really wonderful project there. We focus a lot on making things. We can make websites. We make award-winning packaging. That's for Google there. Packaging is another wonderful thing for Oh Dear. We make wonderful books, engaging publications, and even our own in-house newspaper. So on the graphics program, we like to make. There'll be further questions, I'm sure, from students, and we'll have some at the end. So we might have some questions now. Yeah, I'm ready to answer some questions, I think, if anybody has some. I'm interested in graphic design and product design and everything creative, and I don't know what to do. In the past, I want to take, do you have anything to advise? We do a lot of packaging and products, and as you can see in the background, we do a lot of motion graphics as well, a lot of animation. I would advise, if you are unsure about what you'd like to do, please get in touch with us, get in touch with me, and I can give you some more in-depth information, Alexander, as to how you can make an informed choice as well. Question about, do we have to do essays? Yes, there are some essays, but they're more focused towards you and developing your practice. It's not so much an enforced kind of cultural studies, as it were. It's more to reflect and help you understand your project. So yes, there will there are contextual studies element, but it's not a large amount. It's a 15 credit component. Somebody has written they're finding it hard to write up personal statements for graphic design. Oh shit. Sorry, I lost you there. I would suggest that you get in touch with an academic, and we'll be able to help you with any questions that you have. So I believe we're kind of run out of time for the graphics. Any of the questions, please forward them to me. I think we need to move on to animation now. So over to Shane to talk to animation. Shane. Hi, Shane. Thanks very much.
Hi there. Yeah, hopefully there's going to be a video playing soon, so you can see what's actually being produced by students at DMU on the animation course. But I'll talk briefly about the animation course and about what it entails and what you would be studying if you came to DMU to study animation. So I'm the program leader for animation. I am an animator. I've worked for quite a long time in the games industry as a 3D animator, and I am the animation specialist on the course, teaching the majority of animation for our animation students. So the animation course at DMU is designed to give you the tools you need to turn your stories into festival-ready 2D animations through the use of immersive storytelling, strong visuals, and capturing animations. And when you see the video that we played soon, hopefully you will see the range of storytelling and animation that's being produced by students here. So at DMU animation course, we focus on creating the next generation of animators, filmmakers, and storytellers, and we are really keen to encourage you as students to find your own voice as an animator and a filmmaker. And we nurture you to develop the skills you need to create festival-ready work and an amazing portfolio of animation. At DMU, we've got access to modern facilities, and we use industry standard software, such as TV Paint, which is used in TV production, which is used in feature film production, right up to the present day. And we also use Toon Boom, which we explore more in the second year and beyond, which is also used heavily within animation studios. The team that we have is highly experienced, highly motivated, and they're very supportive of students studying animation. So myself, I cover the animation side of things. And then my team also cover the creative side of storytelling and the pre-production and the illustration. So there are 3 strands really to the course that run through first and second year. The first one is, so the first one is that storytelling and pre-production, where we look at how stories are constructed. We look at things like 3-act structures. We critically analyze films and animation. We begin to understand narrative devices and how to employ cinematography. And that's all wrapped up into our pre-production phase. So students are fully versed within pre-production, where they can explore film language and theory, and they can transform a script into a storyboard and an animatic. In terms of animation experience as expected for new students that I've got a question on the comments, you don't need to have any experience in animation if you're wanting to apply. But what I would say is that you need to have good drawing skills, and as Dan has alluded already in his graphic design course, you need to have an interest in the subject and a curiosity about animation, and you want to develop your own voice as an animator and filmmaker. We will cover all of the animation skills that you need throughout your 3 years with us. So the first strand, as I've said, is the storytelling and pre-production strand. If you're worried about writing essays, that is the essay writing part of the course, which we've wrapped up into understanding about film language, understanding about pre-production, and actually making something practical, which you can then use to develop strong animation. The other strand, the second strand to the course, is illustration and visual acuity. And this runs alongside the pre-production in first and second year. So there are 3 main modules. We've got the pre-production, and then we've got the visual communications. And in those modules for illustration and visual acuity, you're going to be given time to explore and develop your own personal visual language, which is going to enhance your storytelling capabilities. So throughout those 2 years, we're going to explore shape, form, line, and render technique. The main package that we use in first year is TV Paint, which is a bitmap drawing animation package, which is very akin to traditional animation practice, and I originally trained as a 2D animator. So you will need to develop your drawing skills. So if you have an interest in animation, hopefully you will have good drawing skills already, but we will help you to develop them to a high degree. And we have a very experienced illustrator on the course, an academic, who will really push you to explore visual styles, representations, such as this image. We will get involved in time-based mediums such as comics, and we will really push you to kind of find your style and your aesthetic. Do you have to do art? Yes, you will be doing art and drawing, and visual communication is very, very much part of animation production, particularly 2D animation production. But we will be supporting you fully in that. There are 3 strands to the course. So there's the pre-production, and then the illustration and visual communications. In terms of the visual communications, we'll be covering, like I said, time-based mediums such as comic books and storyboarding and animatics. We will also be covering life drawing and observational drawing, and then some degree of graphics as well. So you will have the full range of illustration and visual communication techniques presented to you, and you will be able to work with them to find your own style. We will also do things like character design, character development, so that you can bring your stories to life and bring emotion and narrative into your stories through good characters, amazing backgrounds, and great storytelling techniques. And then the final strand to the course is actually animation. So when you come onto the course, you will be animating right from week 1. We will begin by getting you to go through the key principles of animation, and you will develop an in-depth understanding of those principles, and we will help you to breathe life into your character's appearance and performance, and you will also learn how to apply the core fundamentals of animation in all of your work. And I'm very, as an animator, I'm very keen on students understanding and applying the principles of animation in everything that they do. So we will start with that right from week 1, and that will continue completely throughout the course. Another area in which we've invested heavily in academic support and also in hardware is the audio production, and we've been recognised for the use of good sound and good audio within our animation students' work. So we will explore the importance of sound in animation production with dedicated audio academics, and it will enable you to create soundtracks that drive your narrative and engage the audience in the story. So in terms of structure for the course, those 3 strands are broken down into 2D animation on first year, learning about animation, applying those core fundamental animation principles, and creating your own short animated film towards the end of the year, once you've got through all the animation principles and you're beginning to understand those fundamentals. There will be pre-production, which is the kind of essay writing which we've wrapped up into pre-production, where you apply film animation theory into those pre-production processes. And then the 3rd strand is covered with a module called visual communication, where you develop your observational drawing skills through life drawing, digital drawing, and you explore a range of visual styles and visual language. In second year, it is pretty much the same 3 strands that you will be working with. So again, it will be animation in second year, where you will be working every week on animation. You will be enhancing those animations and advancing your animation skills and focusing on animation performance with and without dialogue. And in term 2 of your second year, you will be producing a short animated film. Again, the 3 strands, so that's the first strand on second year. Again, we do pre-production on second year, where we dig deeper into cinema techniques, cinematography, into storytelling techniques, and explore meaning and ideas within film and animation. And you will be applying those themes in a large body of pre-production work to support the production of a major animation project. And visual communication, you'll be expanding again your life drawing skills, improving your rendering and creative interpretation, and developing a sophisticated range of illustrative images. Questions come in: do we need to include our own animation clips in your portfolios? If you don't have any animation for your portfolio, do not worry. We do not expect students to have animation within the portfolios. We would like to see good drawing skills, good 2D drawing skills, good rendering skills. But in terms of animation clips, if you do have produced animation clips in the past, then do please include those, and that will be given out on the advice for portfolios, which will be on the website, and that will be getting sent out if you do decide to apply. So if you do have animation, that's brilliant. We'd love to have a look at it and see what you've been up to in terms of animation. And it also demonstrates that you have already begun to explore what it means to be an animator. And then finally, in third year, we hand over the reins to you as a production professional, as an animator. And in the first term, it will be about you developing your pre-production work to create festival-ready animation. That's one of the options. Or the other option that you will be able to do is focusing on showreel and producing animation every single week. With my commercial background as a games animator, I am used to producing lots of animation every single day. So we do give students the opportunity to explore that and be able to really strongly develop their animation skills by producing a short amount of animation each week, as if they were in a production setting. And I am the animation director for that third year module. So I will be reviewing people's animations each week along with the academic team and giving good feedback as if you were working in a production setting. When we move into the final term of the third year, you will take all that pre-production body of work with a storyboard and an animatic that is of your own devising and your own story, and you will produce and you will be given support and self-directed time to produce a major animated film which will be suitable for submission to a film or animation festival. Or if you're exploring the second strand, you will carry on with producing strong animation work which will have your own style and your own stamp and your own identity on it, but it will also show off your understanding and employment of the animation principles, and hopefully enable you to have a really, really strong animation portfolio. So there's 2 strands at the end of the course where you will develop your own understanding and technique within animation, and you will leave with a really strong animation film or a really, really strong animation portfolio. And that, I think, is all I've got to say about animation. So thank you for your questions. And if you do have any further questions for myself, then you can reach out to me through the DMU website or through the application process. Okay, thanks very much.
Questions to any of our academics, please do get in touch and we will be able to answer them if any more specific questions. Thanks, Jake. I want to pass over to Kat now to talk about game art.
Hi.
Hi, Kat. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. Please, yes.
All right. So I'll talk a little bit about game art, and I have a presentation as well, if I can get that up, please. Thank you. So game art is designed to support and enable personal growth in sync with the development of professional skills for entry into creative industries. Our course is accredited by Screen Skills, and that means that it is a relevant and recognized qualification which reassures you of academic excellence. It's worth noting that graduates from Screen Skills accredited courses are almost 3 times more likely to find employment in the video games industry within 6 months from graduation compared to those from non-accredited courses. We have a close relationship with many companies across the UK, and our best students often get hired before or at graduation. Companies regularly ask us to recommend them students, and this year almost 30% of our graduates found employment in the industry before graduating. So our graduates, have worked on titles such as Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, Sea of Thieves, and many, many more, really. And our graduates have worked for companies such as Rare, Playground, Ubisoft. I think in pretty much most AAA studios in the UK, we have some graduates. And our graduates are not just stuck doing games either. They have also worked at BMW in the visualization department, at Foster & Partners, which is a architectural firm, Holovis, which is an experiential design company that creates immersive and mixed reality experiences, and Industrial Light and Magic, which is a VFX and animation studio. So what does a game artist actually do? So a game artist creates the virtual universes that make the games you play look amazing, exciting, and sometimes even scary. They create credible, plausible, immersive worlds and all the visual elements in them. Characters, scenery, objects, vehicles, surface textures, clothing, props, and even interface components. So there are various specialisms within the field of 3D art, such as character modeling, environment creation, texturing, and prop modeling. Some games aim to look as realistic as possible, while others aim for a more stylized look. And it is the artist's job to model and texture characters and objects according to the style guide and in line with the art director to achieve the desired result. So I wanted to show you guys some work from our third year students as well. So this is an environment piece by Liam Pickford. And this is a little diorama by Morgan Jones. This is a character art piece by Bianca Balasui. This is a tech art piece by Dan Upton. So he works as a tech artist at Playground at the moment. And this is a vehicle piece by Patrick Herbison. So vehicle art is another specialism that you can go into as a game artist. This is a character art piece by Jake Waddington, who works, I think, he works as a character artist at Playground right now. This is a group project by Amber Jamieson, James Broderick, and Hasrad Bilal. This is another environment art piece by Jake Benitez and yet more environments by Christian Sumburski. And this is a ArchViz piece by Michaela Ciora. Cool. So we are a specialist art course, but we use, of course, a lot of our technology to create art. So our students learn to create game art entirely through practical work. There are no exams, you'll be happy to hear. This year, we've been working very hard behind the curtains to ensure the most effective approach to teaching and content delivery in light of the unprecedented situation, while creating a relevant and engaging curriculum. The content is pre-recorded, but we have timetabled regular face-to-face feedback sessions with all of our students. So year one is about getting to know your tools and how to use them properly and gaining knowledge of specific industry pipelines. So we have 3 modules. There is game production, traditional art practice, and digital art practice. All of the modules are mandatory, so you're not picking and choosing what modules to do. Game production, which is my module that I teach on, is where you will be focusing on 3D modeling fundamentals and creating efficient game-ready assets and then implementing them into a real-time game engine. And then the content includes short exercises to develop skills and understanding tools and pipelines. In traditional art practice, you will be establishing a solid foundation for the development of artistic skills. Students develop their base artistic knowledge through looking at shape, form, lighting, contrast, values, and texture representation. The content covers sketching, idea generation, and observational drawing. And then our last module is digital art practice, which explores production art processes, techniques, and tools, and it provides an intro to fundamental non-destructive workflows and design processes, idea generation, and iteration. So by the end of year one, you should know how to use the tools properly to make models that are efficient and will function in a real-time game environment. And then in year two, the structure of year two is very similar to year one, but it focuses on advancing the student skill further. And the first year is very prescriptive, but the second year is more about artistic decision-making and problem-solving skills. So we'll be basically giving you quite loose briefs, and you have to interpret them and solve them to the best of your ability. So particularly in game production, that means introducing PBR workflows, ZBrush, sculpting, and researching more advanced tools, softwares, and pipelines. The year then culminates in a project where the students create an explorable level as a group. Traditional art practice and digital art practice also, of course, elevate the skill set a bit more in year 2. And then in year 3, the year is highly focused on making students employable by fine-tuning skills and methodologies. It's no longer split into modules. Instead, it is just split into terms. And it is very student-driven. So it's important to understand the course structure as a holistic whole. You can't separate the modules as discrete units of study because they all reinforce each other and collectively build up to one thing to get students to a stage where they have the skills, knowledge, and experience to effectively design, with our support, their own personal third year, and fine-tune their final year projects to develop a portfolio honed towards a particular career. So students choose, in term 1, they choose 3 industry set projects over the course of the semester, and they focus on refining their processes and skills and have the opportunity to experiment with different art styles. And then in term 2, students write their own briefs and assessment criteria, supported by an academic supervisor and a technical tutor. And it is all about them then using that term to produce a professional quality portfolio. Cool. So if you have listened to this and think that all sounds very cool, to get onto the course, we require a portfolio and an interview. And yeah, there should be a link down at the bottom of the video. So we basically, in your portfolio, we expect to see evidence of traditional drawing skills, idea generation and development, and visible interest in the subject, and technical skills and creativity and visual flair. But most of all, we look for passion and focus. And then once you have passed your portfolio review, we then ask for an interview. And of course, in the light of the current situation, all the interviews happen via Skype. Thank you very much for listening. That's me.
Hi, my name's Max and I'm a third year game art student. Today we're in Bede Island, the Game Art and Animation Labs. These are used by both sets of students, and as you can see, we have Cintiqs and other equipment to help us in our studies. These Cintiqs are invaluable. We find that students can use them to create hand-drawn animations, they can paint textures, they can sculpt in 3D, and this all goes towards their studies and everything we do. So now we're in our traditional art life drawing studio. Here we have setups such as this, where we learn to draw in still life. We have our own lighting, and we even move on to doing models work, where we draw poses, gestural drawing, and more along the character and portrait route. This studio is used by both game art and animation as well, and it's a shared space where students can come in and learn all the fundamentals of art and the theory.
Hi, I'm Matt and I'm a first year graphic design student. This here is the main studio where all the first and second years hang out, and we've got full access to all these Macs for the Adobe suite to help us with our project work. Here we've got the artists in residence. They give us insight into industry and help us with all their experience with our projects and all our work we're doing at the moment. If you'd like to see any of our other facilities, please come and visit us on an open day.
Hi.
Dan's muted.
A big thank you to Kat for talking us through game art. And I think we're going to bring up Shay, a game art student, to talk about opportunities and experiences on the game art course.
Hello.
Hi, Shay. Can you tell us a bit about your experience on the game art course so far?
Yeah, sure. So I started the course without really any 3D background knowledge, except for, you know, messing around in The Sims and doing stuff like that, really. Obviously everyone's different and everyone learns at a different pace, but we kind of dove headfirst into picking up 3D and learning how to navigate around the programs. And it was very quick and easy for me to kind of like figure out what to do. And what I really liked as well is that they kind of started us off with doing the introductory project. We start off by first making a dagger, and then we go on to make a treasure chest, and it kind of gradually gets more and more challenging. And it definitely pushes you outside of your comfort zone. The first year is that year where you get to kind of explore and like try out different new like programs and techniques, and, you know, just push the boundaries and everything. And yeah, it's really great fun. And in digital as well, you get to learn like quite a few people know a lot of Photoshop before starting the course and everything, but you learn like even more interesting tips and tricks whilst you're studying. And then with traditional, that's where you're kind of refining your art skills and improving on them even better. If you feel like you're struggling with your art skills as well, there's the Drawing Center, which is really great for just, you know, getting in that extra practice. And I basically live in those areas, so.
Fantastic, thank you. And could you tell us a bit about any student societies that you may have joined?
Yeah, so last year I joined Game Dev Society because I thought that'd be a great opportunity to join in with some game jams and then put that down on my CV as like type of experiences that I've done. I also joined esports societies as well, and even though at the moment we're not able to go and like socialize with each other inside a big hall and stuff together like we did last year, depending on what society you're in, it's quite easy to kind of transition it onto an online society. So game jams, we have Discords, and with esports, it's the same thing where you can just jump on Discord and work from there and like work in little groups and stuff to make video games or play video games. So.
And how about Studio Access? And how's the studio been this academic year?
Initially, because we, when we started like going into the studios and everything, I felt like I was going to panic a lot because I wasn't used to working from home. I'm used to camping in the studio and just like habiting there and everything, and quite a lot of the students are the same. But we have like timetable sessions where we can go in, and they made it all safe so that you're not gonna catch anything whilst you're there. But at the same time, they also have a virtual studio, which is My DMU Labs, where you can get all of the programs that you get on the computers in Bede Island, which is where I'd be working in, from your own personal computer. And because it's connecting through one of the computers there, and it's basically logging on this computer there, you don't need to worry about space on your own computer to be able to access some of those heavier softwares.
Fantastic, thank you very much. One quick question as well. What would you recommend for any applicants and how to prepare themselves for studying game art? Got any tips?
I'd say the best thing to do is to start getting into the habit of just drawing from life and doing some observational drawings. Also, definitely start making like connections and start like talking to people and socializing. When it comes to working in game art, you're usually working with a team of people and just kind of getting feedback from peers, and like all of the year groups are kind of migrated together as like one big melting pot. And in terms of the industry as a whole, it's a well-knitted industry where everyone knows each other. So if you get to know people and people get to know you and what you're interested in and what you're good at and what you want more support in, they'll be more than happy to help you with it, and they'll be more than happy to kind of recommend you to people and stuff in the future. So I think that's very important.
Thank you very much. That's really, really useful. Thank you very much. I think we're going to introduce Matt and Angel now to talk about graphic design course and their experiences, potentially their favorite modules as well. Hi, Matt. Hi, Angel. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Brilliant. So could you talk a bit about your experiences on graphic design and maybe potentially talk about favorite modules or the other facilities?
All right. Graphic design has been really interesting for me, as it really pushes me to like explore more than my traditional mediums and my comfort zone. So you have to just like use a lot of materials, do stuff that are like unconventional, and like just explore a lot and just come out of your comfort zone a lot and learn a lot more. The tutors are very nice. They're always here to help and support you, and they just give you advice, and heck, even they can come up with really interesting ideas as well. What I really enjoyed about the course was the Gurus and Grasshoppers project, which is where we get to work with our third years and they give us things for us to do. And I really enjoyed that because we got to know our third years a bit better and understand how they're working.
Brilliant. Same question for you, Matt. How's your experience been for the past 2 years on graphic design?
Yeah, well, my sort of going off my experience of what I've done in the past and kind of answering Alexander's question from earlier, I did graphic design at GCSE and then product design at A-level. And then I started off with a 1-year foundation course at GMU. So I sort of done a series of different courses. I still wasn't really sure where I wanted to go. Decided on graphic design, but found that all of those different courses had informed into that course. I think my favorite project this last year was probably the packaging project, using the skills I'd learned from product design, but also a lot of the sketchbook work that I'd learned on foundation, going from the whole sketchbook process of just thinking up ideas and going through developing them and refining them until you start making models and prototypes of your packaging, and then getting teamed up with GF Smith to use really nice quality materials to make your more refined models, and then getting to play around with how you advertise it with poster design. And that was a really fun process of looking at the whole of the graphic design industry.
And Angel, what's been your favourite module this year?
My favorite module this year has to be probably like the 202 project. Last year, that was really interesting. We got to make a bunch of stuff and come out of our comfort zone. And this year we're doing a thing called Fish and Birds, where we're just exploring the concepts of fish and birds and trying to see what we can make of that. And like, you would think it's quite unconventional, like fish and birds, what can you do with that? But as you'll find out, you can do a lot with it, and you just got to be brave and do what you can.
So have you found that your personal visual language has evolved? You've got more confident as you've gone along then?
Yeah, and definitely with my like mark making, I've been a lot more confident with that as well. So it's no longer like hatching lines or wobbly lines. It's just like, just make the pen mark on the sketchbook and just be confident and go with the flow.
Wow. So confidence is growing the more as the more time you spent doing it, really, time on time.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So final question to you both. Any tips, any recommendations for any applicants to graphic design and graphic design illustration? So if we go for Matt for graphic design student, any tips?
Yeah, I think just showing your process is so important, and having strong sketchbook work and showing how you get your first idea and then develop it to sort of the refined ideas at the end. And quite often I've found the best projects are not necessarily on technical ability, but more on how passionate and excited you are about an idea. A lot of what we're doing this year is thinking about branding. And if you have an idea that you think you can work with and that's exciting to you, you're more likely to want to push it to its best potential rather than sort of struggling to think of ideas and then it getting you down, because then you're going to struggle with the rest of the project.
And same question to you, Angel.
I suggest explore like lots of mediums, like just use whatever you can, even if it's unconventional, like wrappers from treats and stuff. Just explore a lot of mediums like paints, pastels, pen, pencil, everything, and just be brave with it. It doesn't matter if you mess up, as long as you just enjoy the process along the way, then it's all good.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, both those answers. Really useful. I think we're going to move on to concept and comic art.
Yeah, hi there. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, comic and concept art. I'll just talk very, very briefly about comic and concept art. I'm not an academic on comic and concept art, but I did help to write the Dan now. So yeah, I did help to write the actual course, and I was involved in the actual process for that. So I'm familiar with the structure. So on comic book and concept art, it is quite similar in structure to animation, in that you have the sort of pre-production and critical reading element within year 1 and year 2 as a strand. You also have the visual and illustration and communication element as a strand, and you were taught how to develop stories, how to develop narrative, how to produce content for comic books and concept art. And you were also taught the full range of drawing skills, as we've seen with the live drawing studio that was on the video just now. And your tutors specialised in producing concept art and comic book art. So you will get those two strands in year 1 and year 2, and they're part of 3 modules. The third module, which is in year 1 and year 2, is where you can actually specialise in your own production of comic book or concept art, depending on which of those strands that you're interested in. So you will be given access to all the equipment and the tutors, and given guidance in starting to produce your own work as either a comic book artist or as a concept artist, and explore a range of options around those 2 areas. But you will be given the opportunity to specialise as soon as you start the course at DMU. When you get into 3rd year on comic book and concept art, that is where you will completely self-lead your own project. In the first term, it will be more about developing your own style, with either in comic book or concept art production, and producing content for either one of those mediums, depending on what you've specialised in. In the second and final term, you will be working to professional briefs, where you will be directed by the tutors on the course, and you will be expected to fulfil those professional briefs as if you were working in a production environment in either comic book or concept art. So right from the very start, you will be given a range of tuition in what you need to produce comic book and concept art, and you will also be able to specialise in whichever one of those areas that you wish to explore further. So hopefully that answers questions on that. I think there were a few questions in what opportunities will this course provide me for employment as a comic artist later on. I'm not sure, because I'm not an academic on the course, but what I would say is there will be really, really good links with industry, with the new programme leader, Philip Vaughan, who's just started at DMU. He's got massively strong links with industry, both in comic book and concept art. So you will be given opportunities to network and to expand into those areas, whichever specialism you're on, and there will be plenty of opportunities as you move through the course to develop into those areas as a professional. So hopefully that answers a question, even though I'm not an academic on the course, but hopefully that is some kind of answer to the question. What examples of work can you show on the comic concept and comic art course? As it's a new course, there are no examples. It's just started 2 weeks ago. I think I've gone over how the course is run and what you'll be learning and what new skills you'll be taught. But what I would say, if you are thinking about applying for comic book and concept art, then you have to have an interest in either one of those mediums, and also the ability to draw. But you don't have to draw well at first, because we will provide intuition in all those kind of areas as we go through the course. And I think that's it for comic book and concept art.
So just to second what Shane was saying, I know that there's a fantastic industry connection with the new programme leader, Philip Vaughan. So on Friday, I believe they had Pat Mills run a workshop, and Pat Mills is known as the godfather of British comics. He ran a workshop, and he was very impressed with the student work and student output. And I believe in a few weeks' time, we have Dave Gibbons of Judge Dredd and The Watchmen. He's running a workshop as well. So it's a program that's really super powered with industry connections. We're incredibly excited by it. As Shane said, it only launched 2 weeks ago. It's a brand new course, but the program leader ran a postgraduate course in comic and concept art in Scotland. He's coming down and is bringing an incredible array of contacts with him. So really excited about that. So we have some questions in the chat, I think, about concept and comic. A huge interest in concept and comic art for years. Wants to apply for this degree. What opportunities will it provide as an employment artist later on? Well, I believe if it's the same academically as animation and and game art and all of the programs in the creative design cluster, there's a strong focus on employability, very strong focus on employability. This isn't a fine art course, this is a vocational course. You are being taught the skills to get a job in concept and comic art. The course is set up so you learn a little bit about both in the first year, and then you begin to specialize in the second and third years. So when you start, we're not expecting you to know your trajectory. You will be exploring your own visual language, exploring a variety of different creative applications to then eventually become and decide on your journey in second and third year, and really become a concept artist or comic artist if you would like. As said, Phil Vaughan has an impeccable industry knowledge, and it's been 2 weeks. We've already got 2 world-class workshops and guest speakers already booked in, so that's an exciting course. So Tyler, very welcome for you to apply, and if you have any further questions, we'll be able to put you in touch with the program leader. We have another question about illustration skills not being amazing. Well, I would say, and maybe Shane will agree with me on this, there's a variety of different visual languages in concept and comic art, so you don't necessarily have to do kind of photorealistic drawings. I think the course is designed to be able to welcome people with a variety of different backgrounds, I think, and capabilities. I think the most important thing is you have a passion for the subject, and the program will be able to offer you some training in developing your visual language. But being able to draw is obviously quite important. So that would be in a portfolio application to make sure that you have some fundamental capabilities in it's an art and design program. But if they're not amazing, we can certainly help students with that and to develop their own style and visual languages. So do we have any more questions from viewers that we can bring up? So I think Shane's kind of covered this one. It is a brand new course. It's 2 weeks old. Literally the paint was drying on the brand new studio when the students walked in. I think we've got 2 studios, kind of a drawing workshop and a creative workshop with drawing tablets and screens. We even went so far as to cover some of the walls in whiteboard paint, so you can draw on the walls. It's a really kind of creative studio. You'll be working alongside and same building as animation and game art students, so it's a really wonderful hub for creative design. But we will be able to get, as the students make work, we'll be able to kind of put it up and get it available. But it's a box fresh course with some serious pedigree in terms of the lecturers and the guest speakers. It's a seriously good program, very exciting program. So, any further questions? Otherwise, I think we can talk to Kat a bit more. Hello, Kat. So,
there we go.
Okay. So, thank you. Welcome back. I was wondering if you could tell me a bit about maybe one of your favourite modules to teach.
So I mainly teach game production, which I love to teach because it's all about merging art and technology and creating things that don't just look good, but also are functional, immersive, and kinetic.
And any particular kind of student successes you're proud of, want to talk about?
Yeah, so as mentioned last year, our graduating cohort did very well, even in the middle of a pandemic. 30% were hired before graduating, and a lot of them went on to work at Playground, which is a very renowned studio, and we're very proud of them all for working so hard and finding work even in the middle of all of this.
And I believe you've got an exciting new partnership we may wish to talk about.
Oh yes, we have now got an Unreal academic partnership.
And there's not many universities in the world that have this partnership, so it's a wonderful opportunity there for students. So game art being, I believe, one of the first UK industry accredited game art programs. Wonderful heritage, impeccable staff such as yourself, Kat, and impeccable teams. That's
Yes.
really wonderful. Thank you very much. So, shall we let's talk to Shane. I'll ask him some questions. talk to you some more, Kat. Let's bring Shane up. Hello, Shane.
Hi there.
What's your favourite module to teach then, Shane?
Well, that's easy because as an animator and as a former lead animator in studios and a senior animator, a lot of my time in production for animation for games was involved in animation reviews and directing animation for studios and leading junior animators and mid-level animators in what they were doing, as well as devising animation production for games. So my main focus and my main enjoyment with modules is the actual animation production modules that occur on all levels of the course, where I get involved in giving feedback to students, helping them to express themselves as animators, helping them to understand and employ the principles of animation, every single frame of animation that they produce. And I really enjoy working with first years when they come in, because a lot of them don't have any kind of prior knowledge of animation, and I just love animation. I love animating every day, and I just really enjoy sharing that kind of knowledge and that fun experience with students when they come in as first years and they start getting to grips with what it means to animate and what it means to be an animator. So I really enjoy that. And then when we get into third year, I'm the module leader for the final major projects that students do, and it's just fantastic to see the journey that students have gone on and what they're capable of producing in that final major project, and they've got all the skills and they're able to find their own voice, and it's a fantastic opportunity for me as kind of an animation director to direct them in what they're doing and making sure that they've got an absolutely amazing portfolio or a final film that they finish with their degree studies here at DMU.
Fantastic. Thank you, Shane. I think that wraps up our live stream back. So we're going to welcome back our students, I think. Just a couple more questions. So first question to you guys. An open question. What's the best thing to do in Leicester?
So I'm like incredibly, I don't go outside that much, but when I do, I very much enjoy going all the way into the town centre. It's very easy to walk to from campus and like from where I'm living, and also from like all the accommodation in campus because they're all quite close together. So I love going to Forbidden Planet. I've also gotten into like Warhammer 40k recently, and there's a Warhammer like right next to that. Right next to that, there's a donut shop. So it's all really close together, which I am just here for.
That's very important. Is that donuts, the donut shop?
Yes, donuts, the donut shop. Huge donuts, probably like the size of your head, but
yeah, they're nice. How about you, Matt? What's the best thing to do in Leicester?
Well, because the campus is so well located, there's the canal that runs right down by the uni campus, so you can go walks either way. There's nice views. It's just refreshing to get away if you're sort of struggling with work or whatever, just to clear your head. There's plenty of places to eat out in the town centre itself. But then it's also really near to Tesco's and Lidl for food shopping and stuff. So it's just really handy to be so close to somewhere, and the student accommodations are close to campus. So everything's really close together, and you don't have to walk too far if you need something quickly or you need some materials for one of your courses.
Okay, slightly different question to Angel. What are the university facilities like, such as a library?
The university facilities are very nice. The library is very useful. It's open for most hours of the day. It has things such as class to help you with your essay writings, and they could give you guidance on like Harvard references and stuff. And there are like rooms for you to book if you want to just a private session by yourself or with a group that you want. So the library facilities are very well. I like using them a lot.
And how about facilities on campus? As in, do you get access to the programs areas such as Vijay Patel building? Talk a bit about that.
Yeah, so the Vijay Patel building is where most of the arts are. So you got like fashion facilities, the photography room, like there's like DT design stuff. So yeah, you can mingle with other students with who work in those courses as well, and they can like maybe help you on your course or like guide you on like how to use the machines, or maybe just ask them for a favor, like, oh, can you make this for me for my project? And then it'll be like a vice versa thing. You can help them in their project as well. So Vijay Patel is very useful as well. So yeah, and there's a art shop there where you could buy equipment for fairly cheap prices. So yeah, Vijay Patel is very nice.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming today and being so useful to talk to you. I think we're going to wrap it up there now. So I think we're going to bring everybody up on screen. So brilliant. I hope this has been useful for everyone watching. There were a few technical issues earlier on, of which I apologise for my potty mouth if that was heard. It's just we're very passionate about our programmes. We're thoroughly spoilt by having some amazing students and some amazing staff, of which you've met, and some amazing facilities. So I love working at DMU. I love teaching at DMU, and I'm thoroughly honoured to be able to kind of say this is my home. I made the right decision coming here, and I'm pretty sure I can speak on behalf of most of my colleagues and students, if not all colleagues and students, that they made the right decision too. If you have any questions in terms of, further questions about the course or the programme, please get in touch with through the website, I believe, and they'll be able to forward your questions to the right academic. So the conversation doesn't stop here. Please we want to carry on talking to you, and we look forward to any applications as well. So we have some further live streams, as you can see at the bottom. Please feel free to join them. And thank you and goodbye. So bye-bye.